the night.
That's right, Dolly. First off, we are going to have the Quad Squad. They will be playing the Vaudeville Vixens. Both of these teams won hard-fought victories over their opposing teams in the bout back on December 5th. And I know that they've both been practicing really hard for this bout. I know that the Vaudeville Vixens at least have had, I believe they put in 400 hours on skates since the last bout.
And I'd imagine the Quad Squad has put in that amount of time as well. So without further ado, I'd like to introduce to you the Green Machine.
To be able to introduce to you the Quad Squad's opponent for tonight's match, the Vaudeville Vixens. First off, we have number 1, Daisy Juke. Number 03, One Hit Wanda. Number 10 is A Magnitude 10. Followed up by number 1029, Black Velvet. Number 117, Chondu Snark. Number 14 is Darling Nikki. Number 1967 is Jocelyn Hell. Number 1975, Neon Arzak. Number 22 is Hoppy Go Lucky. Number 24, Shantastic McAwesome. Number 30 is Lemon Dropkick. Number 32, Dalek Doll. Number 406, Montana Slammer. Number 49, Donna Stunner. Number 5150 is Berserk Lee. Number 710 is Bandana Split. Number 750, Whiskey Chaser. Number 8008 is Feminine Hijinks. And number 9 is Kenna Vendetta. The Vaudeville Vixens will be supported from the bench by Nefarious, Two-Stroke, Jurassic Spark, and Smart Ash. Ladies and gentlemen, your 2016 Vaudeville Vixens!
And skating for the officials tonight, we have Zdork, Thaco, Howie Swerve, Eddie Lizard, Uno Mas, Otter, Strife of Riley, and Jay-Z. Our non-skating officials for this bout are Modus Pawns, Rec Support, Shona, Macromaniac, Snow Beast, Irene Adler, Cordova, Pollywog, Squeaky Fromage, Bad Beth and Beyond, Mr. Welch, Jezebel, Mortricia, and Stark. Raving Man. Let's get this bout started.
All right, looking down to that Monkey Bar Jim Jammer line, we've got Sequin Destroyer jamming for the Quad Squad. She will be jamming up against Vaudeville Vixens rookie Black Velvet.
And it looks like we've got some jammer-on-jammer defense there by Sequin Destroyer, trying to get Black Velvet caught up behind the Quad Squad wall. Sequin Destroyer also back behind a wall of Vaudeville Vixens, trying to get past. But it looks like Black Velvet makes her way out of the pack, finding line on the inside, and she is your lead jammer. Black Velvet for the Vaudeville Vixens.
Yep, Sequin Destroyer also out of the pack. She is not your lead jammer, however, she is going to be working on making that scoring pass.
And Black Velvet calls off the jam, picking up 3 points for the Vaudeville Vixens to start them off in this first jam of the game. Both teams, like you mentioned, Rich, won their bout in our first game of the year, or the season, against the opposing teams. The Quad Squad taking the win against the Reservoir Dolls, and the Vaudeville Vixens winning against the Unholy Rollers in December.
Yeah, both wins could be considered a little bit of an upset compared to what was kind of expected going into those bouts. So very exciting wins for both of these teams. So I'm sure they're both really hungry for the win on this one too.
And you can see that with the blockers going after these jammers. Jamming for the Quad Squad, we have Hammer Abby in green up against the Vixens, Jocelyn Hell. Both jammers being knocked to the inside or outside boundary lines and taken back. It looks like Hammer Abby finds her way through the pack first. She is your lead jammer for the Quad Squad.
Now Jocelyn Hell still fighting her way against a wall of green within the pack.
And it looks like Jocelyn Hell has passed the star jammer cover to the pivot, who is Hoppy Go Lucky. So Hoppy Go Lucky maintains then the jammer status. Meanwhile, Hammer Abby making her way through the pack, picking up 4 points for the Quad Squad and calling off the jam. That'll bring the Quad Squad up 1 point over the Vixens. The first jam going to the Vixens with 3 points, the second jam to the Quad Squad with 4. Both teams probably in this game going to do a lot of getting lead jam and then trying to call it off without letting the other team score any points. But let's get back to the action on the track.
Yeah, it looks like we're going to have Shantastic with awesome jamming for the Vaudeville Vixens. She is jamming up against Thrill Show for the Quad Squad. Thrill Show getting through, taking lead jam, wasting absolutely no time getting through that pack.
Shantastic with awesome being held up by the Quad Squad blockers. Sequin Destroyer, Kentucky Fried Carnage, and Wendy You Wanna Die. As Thrill Show makes her way around for that Nydia Madison Grand Slam, she's through the pack, almost fighting her way through a wall of Vaudeville Vixens in the front. She gets knocked down, but right through the pack, and picks up another Nydia Madison Grand Slam. That's 5 more points for the Quad Squad.
Yeah, Quad Squad is doing a really great job of putting up their defense right now. You can see all 4 of their blockers are kind of linked together there to keep back the Vaudeville Vixens in their entirety, opened up just enough to let Thrill Show through, closing back up to form that wall back up in front of the Vaudeville Vixens. Really solid defensive plays there.
And moving all around the track now with Guacamole on the track as a blocker for the Quad Squad. They're just giving Shantastic McAwesome a really hard time in the pack there, not enabling her to get out of the pack. Meanwhile, Thrill Show picking up another Grand Slam. That makes 4 Grand Slams and a total of 20 points that Thrill Show has picked up for the Quad Squad during this jam. And she calls the jam off, picking up another 4 points, a total of 24 points scored by Thrill Show in that jam for the Quad Squad. That'll bring the Quad Squad to a lead with 28 points over the Vaudeville Vixens 3.
Yeah, very strong jam to start off from the Quad Squad there. It definitely puts them in a, certainly not a massive lead, but a bit of a comfortable one.
Anytime you got more points and are in the lead, you know, things are going well. But don't lose hope. The Vixens have Darling Nikki jamming for them on the jammer line. Darling Nikki going up against Dark Horse of the Quad Squad, jamming in green. Both jammers having a hard time getting past the pack of blockers.
It actually looks like Dark Horse has gone off on a track cut penalty, so that gives Darling Nikki and the Vaudeville Vixens a power jam. So Darling Nikki...
Yeah, Vaudeville Vixen's going to slow down there and let Darling Nikki get around the track as fast as possible. She approaches the pack, and it looks like the Vixens are attempting a little bit of offense for her. Trying to catch one, they leave the rest to her, and Darling Nikki breaks through, picking up 5 points and a Mini Madison Grand Slam for the Vaudeville Vixens. Quad Squad trying to wallop in the front there, trying to hold back Darling Nikki. We've got Brokeback Jack, Girl Friday, Conan the Librarian, and Super Youper. But Darling Nikki makes her way through for another 5 points and a Mini Madison Grand Slam for the Vixens.
Quad Squad jammer Dark Horse is back out on the track looking to score some points. She did get through the pack. She's going to be making her scoring pass. Oh, Darling Nikki getting through on that last pass on one skate. Very slick move there, calling off the jam before Dark Horse could put any more points up on the board. So
that's right, Rich.
14 points up for the Vaudeville Vixens on that jam, 0 for the Quad Squad.
Bringing the Vixens up to 17 points, just what they needed. And you can see Darling Nikki almost wanting to call up the jam, but then realizing she had one more skater, Brokeback Jack, to get by, so she does a quick little turnaround fancy move and picks up that last point. Now jamming for the Quad Squad, we've got Sequin Destroyer, number 52. She'll be jamming up against Berserkly, 51-50 for the Vaudeville Vixens.
Now Sequin Destroyer getting through the pack in no time, taking a lead jam for the Quad Squad. Looks like we've got Berserkly also getting through the pack.
Berserkly going up against Alligator, who was skating backwards. Berserkly just knocking right into her and getting by. Sequin Destroyer getting through the pack there, but called on a penalty. She'll be going to the WORT penalty box. Meanwhile, Berserkly with a power jam for the Vaudeville Vixens.
Yeah, Berserkly picking up a Mini of Madison Grand Slam and 5 points for the Vixens on that pass. You can see this is definitely a good situation for the Vixens. There are only 2 skaters for the Quad Squad on the track right now. They did look like Brokeback Jack managed to knock Berserkly out to the inside, does recycle her back. They're doing absolutely everything they can with the amount of defense they have on the track. They're doing a really good job keeping Berserkly back.
And a little bit of penalty trouble on the Quad Squad with the Alligator, Sequin Destroyer, and another blocker in the penalty box. Now all blockers back on the track, but it looks like going back to the penalty box there. So Berserkly with another power jam event here in this same jam. And Berserkly trying to fight her way past Brokeback Jack. Brokeback Jack getting the help of KY Julie and Alligator up in front. Vaudeville Vixens, though, trying to play a little bit of offense to get their jammer through.
Yeah, that tripod defense is a really strong one, especially if you've got like the one jammer who you kind of got facing towards or one blocker rather, you got facing towards the jammer. Kind of easier to pivot back and forth and block them, and if you get by that one blocker, then you've got two more to deal with.
That's right. And that jam ends with the quad squad picking up 3 points or 4 points total in that jam. The Vaudeville Vixens, berserkly, picks up 14 points, and this leaves us with a 1-point game here. Vaudeville Vixens at 31, Quad Squad at 32. Let's hear it for both teams out there on the track. Quad Squad jammer, Hammer, Abby, jamming against a wall of Vixens in the back. Meanwhile, Vaudeville Vixens jammer, Black Velvet, getting out of the pack first, but she is called to the WORT penalty box on a forearm penalty.
Yep, that does give Hammer Abby not only lead jam, but a power jam. So she's going to spine that easy lane on the inside, or at least make it look easy. Picking up another Mini Madison Grand Slam, 5 points for the Quad Squad.
And it's back and forth between these two teams. The Vaudeville Vixens getting into a little bit of penalty trouble now, with Jean Dusnark and Kenna Vendetta in the penalty box. Lemon Dropkick and Dalek Doll out there on the track trying to hold back Hammer Abby. But she makes her way through with another another Mini Madison Grand Slam, and 5 points for the Quad Squad.
Looks like that penalty box is emptying out. We've got a pack of at full strength out on the track there. Hammer Abby, still your lead jammer up at the front of the pack. Looks like she's not going to quite get by all the blockers, picking up 3 points before calling off the jam.
But she calls the jam off before the Vaudeville Vixens can score any points, and therefore takes the Quad Squad to another 14-point lead, picking up 13 points in that jam. Vaudeville Vixens jamming Jocelyn Hell on the line in pink, up against Thrill Show, jamming for the Quad Squad in green. And the jammers will take off from the Monkey Bar Gym jammer line.
Things getting off to a little bit of a slow start there as the pack is very packed together.
Pack is a lot more dense in this bout here than possibly in our first bout. As you play with the Mad Wrecking Dolls and then into the Mad Rollin Dolls, you get a little bit more control over your speed there.
That is right, Dolly. Looks like we've got Thrill Show getting through, taking the lead jam for the Quad Squad. She is going to get through, ends up in a little bit of trouble with the Vaudeville Vixens blockers. We had a magnitude 10 there, as well as feminine hijinks. She is going to get through for another Mini Madison Grand Slam. You can see the Quad Squad lining up on the side of the track there, allowing the jammer plenty of room to get on there, ready to jump in if they need to help break up that wall.
And as the team forms behind, they tend to go up on a little bit of offense sometimes. You did see that with Kentucky Fried Carnage trying to help out, give a little offense there to Thrill Show, picking up another Mini Madison Grand Slam, and 5 more points for the Quad Squad. Vaudeville Vixens defense trying to slow down Thrill Show, Montana Slammer, Bandana Split, and a magnitude 10, trying to hold back Thrill Show, and they do so as Jocelyn Hell gets out of the penalty box and through on her first pass. But it looks like Thrill Show calls off the jam after picking up yet another Mini Madison Grand Slam.
Yeah, a lot of very strong, active blocking happening in that last jam on behalf of the Vaudeville Vixens. Notice A Magnitude 10 was doing a great job of just kind of pivoting back and forth, making sure that she can do everything to keep the Quad Squad jammer back, and just kept her back enough time to allow, I believe it was Jocelyn Hell through there?
Yes, Jocelyn Hell. Get up through the pack. But now jamming for the Quad Squad, we have Gouda Riddance, and she's jamming up against Shantastic McAwesome. It looks like Shantastic McAwesome knocked Gouda Riddance out of bounds and now has skated back at least half a track, if not 3/4 there, making Gouda Riddance follow her. If Gouda enters before Shan does in front of her, then she might get a track cut penalty. So Gouda Riddance making her way past the Quad Squad in the back. Shantastic McAwesome getting held up.
fantastically awesome back, having a little bit of problems with the back of the quad squad back there. She does get through on the inside. Eligible to start scoring points, however, she is not your lead jammer.
And Good Riddance gets through the pack, pulls off the jam, and ends with 5 points for a Mini Madison Grand Slam for the quad squad. Vixens one-hit Wanda and Whiskey Chaser sent to the penalty box in that last jam, so they will start with just 2 blockers on the track in this next jam.
Now we do have a team timeout being called by the Vaudeville Vixens, so we'll have another moment here to have whatever is happening over there be resolved, or have them talk about whatever strategy they need to talk about. So in the meantime, please feel free to head on down to the merch table, buy yourself any merchandise. Again, any merch you buy does get you an entry to win a free ticket to Food Cart Fest. And if you pay $1, you can get a shout out that goes to support our Bout charity, sheltering animals of abuse victims. We are happy to read your shout out over the mic.
That's right, Rich. Get your shout-outs in, get your messages out there. Let us know what your resolutions are for the year. We want to thank some of our sponsors out there, without whom we wouldn't have what we need to put on this wonderful show for you. We want to thank Maduro Cigar Bar. We also want to thank Duckworks Media Forge and MC Audio. Thank you to our Bout sponsors.
Yep, Duckworks Media Forge is actually doing video production for tonight's bout. So if you can actually go and see the YouTube recordings of the bouts from last month, and once they finish production on these, you'll be able to get them up and running on.
And yes, you'll see cameras around and also on the referees' helmets. I think Zdork's wearing one. Meanwhile, on the track, we've got Darling Nikki jamming for the Vaudeville Vixens up against Hammer Abby of the Quad Squad. Hammer Abby makes her way through and picks up lead jammer status. Quickly getting around the track, it looks like the Vaudeville Vixens have picked up some penalties there. Jammer Darling Nikki heading to the penalty box along with Hoppy Go Lucky.
Yep, so the Vaudeville Vixens only have 3 blockers on the track right now. Looks like number 03, one-hit Wanda has recycled the quad squad jammer Hammer Abby to the back of the pack. She's going to get back in, sneak on the inside line, pick up a Mini Madison Grand Slam.
And Hammer Abby making her way around the track again, fighting her way against the couple of Vaudeville Vixens up there. That's one-hit Wanda again, recycling Hammer Abby back about 20 feet before she can enter, but she picks up 5 more points, another Mini Madison Grand Slam, and that'll give Hammer Abby a 15-point jam for the quad squad, bringing their total to 80 points. Vaudeville Vixens at 31. And Vaudeville Vixens, Darling Nikki and Berserkly having some good point scoring jams so far, picking up 14 points for the Vixens. With the quad squad, Hammer Abby and Thrill Show have scored the majority of their points, basically almost doubling the Vixen jammers and points scored. So we've got Thrill Show out jamming for the quad squad again. She's jamming up against Berserkly for the Vaudeville Vixens.
Yep, Thrill Show taking lead jam for the quad squad. Looks like we have Berserkly still being held up by the quad squad defense in the back of the pack. A little bit of a tumble happening at the back. Looks like Daisy Juke took a little bit of a spill.
And the quad squad defense really doing a great job these last few jams to hold the Vaudeville Vixen jammer back, oftentimes sending her to the penalty box with a cut penalty or another. Thrill Show trying to find her way past a wall of Vaudeville Vixens in the back of the pack there.
Oh, and it looks like we have a star pass happening on the track. Vixen's jammer Berserkly has passed her star over to the Fitted Hoppy Go Lucky. However, the jam is going to be called off by the quad squad before the Vixens can put any more points up on that board.
And Thrill Show picking up 8 more points for the quad squad. 8 points in that jam, 88 points for the quad squad. Lucky number 8 there. And that's by Thrill Show number 80.
Yep, so we've got a little bit more than 50-point spread between these two teams. Got 13 minutes to go in this first half, a whole nother half to go.
And on the Monkey Bar Gym Jammer line, taking off for the quad squad, we have KY Julie. She's jamming up against Black Velvet of the Vaudeville Vixens.
Now, it looks like Black Velvet was knocked to the outside by Hammer Abby. She did get recycled back, however, she's back out on the track.
But that leaves KY Julie of the quad squad as your lead jammer. KY Julie around the track again, now scoring points, trying to make her way past Kenna Vendetta.
And meanwhile, Black Velvet ended up picking up a penalty and is now in the WORT penalty box. So KY Julie and the quad squad now have a power jam. KY Julie getting around, taking up 5 points, taking a mini of Madison Grand Slam. Just kind of mosey on back to the back of the pack, swings by the Vixen blockers.
KY Julie with a nice little move there, getting right through the only two blockers at the time on the track. Snark and Donna Stunner. A magnitude 10 now coming back in from the penalty box, as well as Black Velvet. But before that happens and the Vixens can score any points, the quad squad jammer calls that jam off, picking up 13 points. Nice job by KY Julie there. It seems to be a pattern the last like 5-6 jams with the quad squad keeping the Vaudeville Vixens to 0 points in those jams. Oftentimes sending their jammer to the penalty box and taking advantage of the power jam.
Yep, quad squad definitely doing a fantastic job with their defense so far this bout. Vixens doing a good job with their defense right there. It looked like jammer for the quad squad, Sequin Destroyer, who was about to get through. They ended up pushing her out to the outside, recycling her to the back of the pack. However, now she does end up juking around the outside on the outside lane, picks up lead jam for the quad squad. Looking down the track, we've got Jocelyn Halbernell jamming for the Vaudeville Vixens. Got Sequin Destroyer taking another round around the track, picking up a mini of Madison Grand Slam. Going to be coming around to the back of the pack again. Looks like she's going to try to find the outside lane. Does juke through, almost took a little spill there around the fourth turn. She does get through, picking up another 5-point mini of Madison Grand Slam for the quad squad.
And as she speeds through there, she looks at Allie Gator holding up the Vaudeville Vixens jammer. Knocking down the Vaudeville Vixens there. We've got some quad squad blockers making their way around.
And you know, looking down at the track, I am not seeing a star on the track for the Vixens.
It looks like there might have been a star pass, but the star pass from Jocelyn Held to Kenna Vendetta might not be finalized with Kenna Vendetta putting on the jammer helmet cover.
They could also be engaging in a star stash to get a little bit of confusion happening on the track.
Sequin Destroyer making her way through the pack for 4 points and calling off that jam. Again, keeping the Vaudeville Vixens to 0 points. A nice jam by Sequin with 19 points. And I do have an announcement. If Sheba could make her way to the will call the will call office, Sheba, someone was looking for you to make your way to the will call table, couldn't find you with all these wonderful fans here. And let's get back to the action down on the track, jamming for the Vixens. We've got Shantastic McAwesome.
Yep, Shantastic McAwesome did a nice little jump on the outside line to take lead jam here. She's jamming up against Hammer Abby for the quad squad. Both jammers re-engaging the pack here.
And Shantastic McAwesome making her way to the back, being held up, but calls the jam off, picking up 2 points and calling it off before Hammer Abby can score any points for the quad squad. And the Vixens are going to need to do what the quad squad has been doing the last few jams.
Looks like we're going to be taking a brief moment here to get a little bit of extra rosin on the track. Skating on polished concrete is very slick, so we try to mitigate some of that by putting down some rosin on the track. You can see those little spots of like white powder. You can see we're about to get a little bit more down on there. Sometimes, you know, that's...
a shout out here. We want to wish a happy birthday to Smartash. I love you, Mom, from Slam Jam. Let's wish a happy birthday to Smartash, one of the skaters on the Vaudeville Vixens.
We'd like to give a little shout out to one of our sponsors, the Chocolate Shop Ice Cream Shop. Chocolate Shop Ice Cream is the best ice cream made in Wisconsin, and it tastes so good because it has gobs of rich Wisconsin cream, tons of ingredients for boatloads of luscious flavors. That means it's not low fat, low calorie, or anything, and that's why everybody loves it. You want nutrition? Eat carrots.
That's right, Rich. And if any of these teams win by 100 points tonight, which it looks like the Quad Squad is getting close to being above the Vixens by 100, but a 100-point or plus win will get you a free Chocolate Shop ice cream by bringing your ticket or wristband into any Chocolate Shop ice cream location tomorrow.
Getting back down to the action on the track, we have Darling Nikki taking lead jam for the Vaudeville Vixens. She's jamming against Thrill Show for the Quad Squad. Both jammers out of the pack looking to make their scoring pass.
Darling Nikki taking on a Quad Squad wall up in the front of the pack, calls off the jam, picking up 3 points for the Vaudeville Vixens and keeping the Quad Squad to 0. And that'll bring the Vaudeville Vixens up to 34 points. We do have an official review that was asked for by the Vaudeville Vixens. So to remind you all, each team does get one official review each period during the game. And if they take that official review and the call stands, no problem. If they take that official review and the call changes, then they keep their official review. So they don't lose a timeout or keep a timeout, but they keep their official review if they were correct in taking it.
Right, and the official review I've seen from time to time, the official review can sometimes be used as just an additional team timeout. So if things are getting down to the wire, a team doesn't actually have something that they want reviewed, they can use that time just as a little, okay, let's get together, kind of, reform our plan, kind of figure out where we're going with this one here.
And we'll find out from the officials what was reviewed there. But meanwhile, I wanted to thank WSUM 91.7, Madison Student Radio, the Snake on the Lake. WSUM, one of Rollin sponsors. And we want to also thank our other radio station, WORT, sponsoring our penalty box.
So I just got word from the officials that official review was for the Vixens thought that a Quad Squad skater had engaged in a penalty, an out-of-play penalty that they had not been called for. After review, it was decided that there was no penalty that needed to be called, so the Vaudeville Vixens have lost their official review for this first half.
And the Vaudeville Vixens jammer Berserkly is up against KY Julie in the pack. Berserkly taken to the outside and knocked down by Alligator there. She gets right back up and out of the pack. That leaves Berserkly as your lead jammer for this jam for the Vaudeville Vixens. KY Julie still trying to make her way past the Vaudeville Vixens wall. She does so, and now both jammers eligible to score points. Berserkly stepping right around the outside of that pack. Skates a little bit, but decides to call it off before the Quad Squad can score any more points. So while the Quad Squad, the last few jams had been scoring, 10, 15 points, the Vaudeville Vixens slowly take it back here, scoring 3 or 4 points each jam, calling it off, keeping the Quad Squad to 0 points. So.
Yep, chipping away at that lead, definitely the way to go here. Obviously, they're going to really be gunning for a few big power jams, a few mini Madison Grand Slams. But we'll see what can happen down on the track. We've got Dark Horse jamming for the Quad Squad. She's jamming up against the Vaudeville Vixens skater Black Velvet.
And both jammers facing some hard defense there, both getting out of the pack around the same time. But it looks like Black Velvet is your lead jammer for the Vaudeville Vixens.
Yep, Dark Horse is hot on her heels. Looks like Black Velvet's going to get through the pack. As soon as she starts passing skaters, she's going to call that jam off.
And And that leaves her picking up 2 points for the Vaudeville Vixens. I'm sorry, 4 points for the Vaudeville Vixens. The Quad Squad Jammer might have snuck through there with a few points, and it looks like, yep, the ref is signaling 2 points. So the Vaudeville Vixens picking up 4 on that jam to the Quad Squad's 2. Now we'll see what Shantastic McAwesome jamming for the Vaudeville Vixens can do up against Girl Friday jamming for the Quad Squad.
Both jammers working on getting through the pack. Shantastic McAwesome finds a bit of a lane on the outside to get through. However, it's not quite enough to get through first to take lead jam. Lead jam goes to Girl Friday of the Quad Squad. However, Shantastic McAwesome is the jammer in the lead, forcing Girl Friday to call off the jam. Really great play there.
That's right. Shantastic McAwesome made her way around the lead jammer, Girl Friday, so forces her to call that jam off so that the opposing jammer doesn't pick up points before she does.
And I swear sometimes...
Play by Girl Friday.
Sometimes I swear that Shantastic McAwesome has little rockets on her skates. Because sometimes she all of a sudden gets a burst of speed. Like, where did that come from?
And jamming for the Vixens, Darling Nikki up against Thrill Show jamming for the Quad Squad. Both jammers trying to fight off the blockers on the opposing team. Darling Nikki getting stuck behind Guacamole and Sequin destroy her. And Quad Squad jammer Thrill Show being called on a penalty to the the WORT penalty box.
Yeah, we have a number of Quad Squad skaters going out. So now we have Darling Nikki is out. She's out looking to make some points. However, she is not currently the lead jammer.
So that'll give Darling Nikki 2 whole minutes in this jam to score as many points as she can. She does have a power jam right now up against the Quad Squad. Only jammer on the track. She makes it through for Amelia Madison. Grand slam and 5 points for the Vaudeville Vixens. Now out on the track again, Thrill Show from the penalty box. Both jammers on the track. Vaudeville Vixens down 1 blocker. And Thrill Show squeaking her way past on the inside line there. She is also not lead jammer. So we will have no lead jammer this jam.
This might be one of the first jams we've had where both teams are going to score points.
That's right. Darling Nikki trying to fight her way through. She does with a little quick turn and makes her way through the pack. 4 more points for the Vixens. Hot on her tail, though, is Thrill Show, making her way past the pack pretty easily and picking up 4 points for the Quad Squad.
Both jammers approaching the back of the pack. They're going to try to find their way through. Darling Nikki almost finds that inside lane, gets pushed to the outside. Thrill Show, on the other hand, does get through, picking up another 4 points to the Quad Squad. With that, the jam timer is going to expire.
And the Quad Squad picking up 8 points in that jam. The Vaudeville Vixens picking up 12. Both jammers jamming for a whole 2 minutes there. And we've got the Vaudeville Vixens at 54 points. The Quad Squad at 131. Almost 3 minutes left in this first period. Jamming for the Vixens is Berserkly, number 5150 on the Monkey Bar Gym jammer line, taking off against Hammer Abby of the Quad Squad.
Looks like Berserkly is going to take lead jam for the Vaudeville Vixens. She's going to be looking to make her scoring pass here. She comes around, going to meet with a wall of green. All 4 blockers for the Quad Squad waiting for her.
And the Vaudeville Vixens trying to hold Hammer Abby back, but she does make her way through. Berserkly making her way around the last Quad Squad blocker there, Dark Horse, picking up 4 points and calling off the jam. And that'll give the Vaudeville Vixens another 4 points. It looks like the Quad Squad did not pick up any points in that jam. Now we've got Black Velvet jamming for the Vaudeville Vixens up against the Quad Squad jammer KY Julie, taking off from the Monkey Bar Gym jammer line.
Both jammers doing a lot of juking back and forth, trying to get around the pack. Black Velvet first trying to find the lane on the inside, doesn't quite get it, goes for the outside, ends up just barely getting through after a valiant defense by Good Riddance there.
That leaves Black Velvet and the Vaudeville Vixens with lead jammer status for this jam. Black Velvet already around the track on her point-scoring pass, going up against a wall of Quad Squad. Actually, a two-wall Quad Squad there made up of Booty Collins and Alligator. Knocked to the outside, she calls the jam off. She picks up 3 points for the Vaudeville Vixens. And it looks like KY Julie just slid right on through, picking up 4 points for the Quad Squad.
My point is behind her and I was out of the box.
Looking
KY
back down.
Julie, so slippery.
She just slipping and sliding all over that track.
Keep it down.
Hard to get your hands on her.
And we got Jocelyn Hill jamming for the Vaudeville Vixens up against Thrill Show of the Quad Squad. Thrill Show pulling her way past, getting the help of Wendy You Wanna Die, trying to make her way past Jocelyn Hill. Both jammers out of the pack. And neck and neck there, fighting against one another to see who is going to get to the pack first. Ooh, a big knock into Ken Vendetta there by Thrill Show. We've got Jocelyn Hill Burnell calling off the jam there. She was lead jammer status, and it looks like Thrill Show did get in front of her. Knocked into the pack first, but Jocelyn Hill calling the jam off, and no points picked up on that jam.
It looks like we are we're just before the end of the half here. We are going to have an official review being called for by the Quad Squad. So we'll see what's going on there. There is 6 seconds left on the clock. So whether or not, we may or may not get time for another jam before this half ends, but once this half does end, we have some great Bout halftime entertainment for you. We'll have a capoeira demo by Omolu Capoeira Madison and Razes do Brazil Capoeira Madison. So stick around for that. If you want to, in the meantime, while you're waiting for things to get rolling there, head on down to one of the refreshment stands, get yourself a Pabst Blue Ribbon.
That's right, PB Army ASAP. We've got some other great, I believe, microbrews. I think they have the Hopalicious by Ale Asylum for sale as well as some other beer.
Yep. And if beer is not quite your jam, then we've got ice cream over here by the chocolate shop. There are also, I'm sure, soda refreshments and water available. Get whatever you need. Also, feel free to head on down to the merch table, check things out there, pay $1, get a shout out. We'll read it to you over the mic. Of course, if you buy any merchandise over there, again, you will get entered into a chance to win a free admission to Food Cart Fest, May 22nd. So we'll get back to the action here once this official review is sorted. Thank you all very much for your patience.
And that official review was called by the Quad Squad. They wanted the officials to review the lack of a cutting call on the pink jammer, Jocelyn Hill, in that first pass. So the referees and officials have reviewed, and they have determined that a penalty was not called, that should have been called. So Jocelyn Hill, the jammer for the Vaudeville Vixens, should have been called on a penalty. That means that the jammer for the Vaudeville Vixens will start this next jam in the penalty box. And with just a few seconds left, it may not matter, but that also means that the Quad Squad will keep their official review for the period. It looks like we also then, because the official review was upheld, the Quad Squad called another official review, since they still have theirs. They called an official review regarding the late hit to the jammer. At the end there, Thrill Show did jam into the Vaudeville Vixens, and that was determined to also be upheld. So we're getting back to the action. Vaudeville Vixen Jammer, I believe, started in the penalty box, but Thrill Show on the track jamming for the Quad Squad. Jocelyn Hell for the Vaudeville Vixens is your lead jammer.
Yep, Thrill Show is out of the pack, right on her heels. Both approaching the pack now.
And the Quad Squad getting to the front of the pack, trying to hold back Jocelyn Hell and knock her to the inside. She calls off the jam and picks up 3 points. And that'll bring us to halftime, folks. That'll bring the Vaudeville Vixens up to 64 points. The Quad Squad with 135 points. And we'll get back down to the action on our Monkey Bar Gym jammer line. We'll have Sequin Destroyer start off the Quad Squad jamming for green, and we'll have Shantastic McAwesome start off the Vixens jamming in pink. Sequin Destroyer with 23 points in the first half of the bout. Hammer Abby with 33, but Thrill Show with 55 points in that first half of the bout. Really picking up the majority of points there for the Quad Squad.
Well, I believe there was that. I believe it was the second or third jam that last half, where Thrill Show was a part of that just a power jam where she got like 5 grand slams or 3 or like probably more like 4, but she makes up a lot of those points, like just going around the track, really racking up those points.
Remember, the merchandise table will close at the halftime of our third bout. So get there now, enter to win. There are 4 chances to win the Food Cart Fest on May 22nd. With your purchase of merchandise, you're entered to win. Now let's get back to the action on the track, Rich.
Oh, indeed we have already. We've already gotten things kicked off. Shantastic McAwesome going to be juking back and forth, trying to find that outside lane. Doesn't quite make it through. In fact, Sequin Destroyer is going to take lead jam for the Quad Squad for the first jam of the second half.
And Sequin getting caught up behind the Vaudeville Vixens, but then right around the turn there, finding a hole and busting out of the pack. Sequin Destroyer through around the track and through the pack with 4 points for the Quad Squad. Shantastic McAwesome, hot in pursuit, picking up 4 points for the Vaudeville Vixens as well. And Sequin Destroyer with a nice jump of the apex. She picks up 4 points. Now when a skater jumps the apex like that, she has to leave the track from inbounds and land inbounds, which is exactly what Sequin did there for an awesome apex jump. She picks up 8 points. Vaudeville Vixens with 5 that last jam.
Looks like while looking down to the Monkey Bar Gym jammer line, we're going to have Hammer Abby jamming for the Quad Squad. She's going to be jamming against Darling Nikki for the Vaudeville Vixens. Whistle blows, action begins. Got a tripod of blockers up for the Vaudeville Vixens, working on keeping Hammer Abby back.
And that's Montana Slamma, Kenna Vendetta, and A Magnitude. Montana Slamma knocking Hammer Abby to the inside line. But it looks like the Quad Squad did the same thing to Darling Nikki on the outside line. Both jammers recycled to the back of the pack, having to enter and fight their way through. Hammer Abby going past one last blocker, Kenna Vendetta, and with a little help from her Quad Squad friends, she makes it. But Darling Nikki out of the pack first, determined to be the Vaudeville Vixens' lead jammer.
And Hammer Abby had some really nice momentum going into that first and second turn here, but ended up getting knocked out by A Magnitude 10, really slowed her down, kind of took some of the wind out of her sails there, allowing Darling Nikki to get through here. Although it looks like now Darling Nikki's picked up a forearm penalty, so this now gives Hammer Abby and the Quad Squad a power jam.
And it looks like Gouda Riddens trying to fight her way past those last 2 Vixen blockers. She does so. She's wearing the pivot cover, but now has put on the jammer helmet cover, meaning a star pass from Hammer Abby to Gouda Riddens, the pivot. Now Gouda Riddens will have a power jam for the Quad Squad. She gets through on her first scoring pass, picking up 5 points. And a grand slam. Minnie Madison grand slam for the Quad Squad. Knocked to the outside, recycled around the back, but Gouda Riddens getting some help from her quad squad blockers. Now playing defense and holding one Vaudeville Vixen blocker up in the back. She has 2 to pass. But those two are tough.
Yep, looks like Darling Nikki has been released from the penalty box and is in there kind of mixing things up. Actually, she did, both jammers picked up 5 points on that last pass.
And that may be because Darling Nikki scored that power jam initially on her first pass, but then got sent to the penalty box. So the points aren't really scored until after she gets out of the penalty box and past the pack again. So on that jam, it looks like the quad squad picking up 5 points and the Vaudeville Vixens possibly picking up 5 there as well. We've got on the line and jamming for the quad squad, Thrill Show, making her way off the line and into lead jammer status. Vaudeville Vixens have Berserkly jamming in pink. And Thrill Show up against 2 Vaudeville Vixen blockers. Knocked to the outside, calls the jam off, but picks up all 4 points. And that'll be a jam of 4-0 with the quad squad picking up 4. That last jam, it looks like Buddha Riddance did get through for another point-scoring pass, so it was 9-5 there.
It's like we have an official timeout happening right now, so that gives us some time to read some shout-outs. Remind you, you can head on down to the merch table and buy your own shout-out for just $1. Proceeds going to our Bout charity tonight. This shout-out here says, Mr. Carlson, the lawyer for Sheila.
We finally find out who Mr. Carlson is.
He's very...
Unless this might be multiple Mr. Carlsons. But shout out to Mr. Carlson. We want to thank one of our sponsors, One Barrel Brewing Company. One Barrel Brewing Company at 2001 Atwood Avenue. Beer that's handmade in small batches with love. Check out One Barrel Brewing Company. We also want to thank another one of our sponsors, High Noon Saloon. Voted Madison's favorite live music venue and Madison's favorite place for karaoke. Check out the High Noon Saloon.
Looks like our official timeout has resolved. Action about to begin again. We've got Black Velvet on the line jamming for the Vaudeville Vixens. She'll be jamming against quad squad skater Dark Horse.
And Black Velvet trying to fight past a wall of 3 quad squad blockers. She makes her way past and picks up lead jammer status for the Vaudeville Vixens. Dark Horse having some trouble trying to get past Hobby Go Lucky in 8 magnitude 10. Knocked around and finally making her way through. But Black Velvet around the track, she picks up points. And looks like she's raising her hands as Dark Horse is trying to get past one-hit Wanda. She makes her way through the pack and picks up 4 points for the quad squad. Black Velvet deciding to take another pass through, picking up 4 more points for the Vaudeville Vixens.
Yeah, looks like she's going to go for another one here, too.
She looks over at her bench, sees that they might be calling or signaling her to call off the jam, but decides she wants to skate more of this jam. So she does and skates through the pack, passing the quad squad jammer Dark Horse, and then picking up Minia Madison Grand Slam. That's Black Velvet of the Vaudeville Vixens now in a power jam as Dark Horse is called to the penalty box, and she'll be sitting in the WORT penalty box for 30 seconds.
That quad squad defense is now at full strength. Broke that jack, knocking Black Velvet out to the inside there.
And Black Velvet taking a little fall there, but she calls the jam off after picking up 18 points for the Vaudeville Vixens up against Quad Squad's 7 points there. So really picking up 11 more points to break that, or decrease that lead that Quad Squad has.
Definitely a good jam for the Vaudeville Vixens, and this one is going to start off pretty good for them too. Dark Horse, the Quad Squad jammer, is still in the penalty box to start this jam. So Jocelyn Hell is going to start things off in a power jam.
Jocelyn Hell jamming for the Vaudeville Vixens in pink there up against the Quad Squad wall. She tiptoes her way on the inside line and gets through. Jocelyn Hell, lead jammer for the Vaudeville Vixens. Dark Horse jamming for the Quad Squad, released from the penalty box. And Jocelyn Hell through the pack again, picking up a couple points and calling off the jam before the quad squad can get any more points on the board.
Yeah, a lot of really fun action at the start of that jam. You can see the Vaudeville Vixens blockers all set up and got into that four block, that blocktopus formation in anticipation of Dark Horse coming out of the box. And then as they're blocking her, we saw Alligator come back and help break that up so she could get through. Just a really, really fun derby plays in that last jam.
Both teams doing a great job on defense as well as offense. Jamming on offense now for the quad squad. We have Thrill Show up against the Vixens jammer, Shantastic McAwesome. Quad squad holding Shantastic McAwesome to the outside around turn 2 there. Shan finding some hole to walk through, but getting knocked to the outside by Sequin Destroyer.
And it looks like, well, Thrill Show did get through first. She didn't pass legally, but she came back in and didn't pass anybody, so there was a no pass, no penalty called. So you can see what Eddie Lizard there was doing, kind of swapping his fingers around himself. That means we do not currently have a lead jammer. However, points are being scored by Thrill Show.
And Thrill Show on her second point scoring pass. Now I'm trying to make her way through the pack. Shantastic McAwesome out of the pack now. She is your lead jammer for the Vaudeville Vixens. And Thrill Show making her way through the pack again for 5 points and a Mini Madison Grand Slam for the quad squad.
Shantastic McAwesome looks like she's going to make her best shot at that, getting some points. Jukes to the outside, calls off the jam almost immediately.
And Thrill Show picking up 2 points for the quad squad. Shantastic McAwesome 2 points for the Vaudeville Vixens. And Thrill Show a total of 11 points that jam. Taking advantage of getting out of the pack first. Sometimes even if you're the lead jammer, you may not have the advantage in points scored in that jam. Now taking off from the Monkey Bar Gym jammer line for the Vixens, we have Darling Nikki. And for the quad squad, Hammer Abby. Hammer Abby getting taken to the inside line, back up, and finds a hole on that inside line and gets out of the pack. She is your lead jammer for the quad squad. Darling Nikki getting knocked to the outside. Looks like by Girl Friday also going down there, but she finds her way out of the pack, but out on the track as well. Darling Nikki called to the penalty box. That gives Hammer Abby and the quad squad a power jam. And Hammer Abby picking up a couple Grand Slams there. Mini Madison Grand Slams. She's looking to pick up another one. She goes up against 3 of the Vaudeville Vixen blockers. We've got Bandana Split, Dalek Doll, and Montana Slam are trying to hold back Hammer Abby.
Yeah, they're doing their best to stall for time, waiting for their jammer to get released from the penalty box.
And offense by quad squad. Hammer Abby through for another 5-point Mini Madison Grand Slam as Darling Nikki gets out of the penalty box.
And Darling Nikki through, looking to make a scoring pass now. Hammer Abby engaging the pack, knocked to the inside. Going to call off the jam as she starts having trouble getting through that pack. Picking up 3 points before the jam is called.
That was an 18-point jam by Hammer Abby for the quad squad.
Yep, that brings the score up to Vaudeville Vixens 96, Quad Squad 193. So Quad Squad just shy of a 100-point lead on the Vixens here.
How many of you out there are cheering on the quad squad? Let's hear it. Help them activate. And how many of you fans out there rooting for the Vaudeville Vixens? All right, Vaudeville Vixens jamming berserkly, fighting against a wall of green in the back. Jamming for the quad squad, we have Thrill Show up against a wall of pink in the front. Trying to squeeze her way past Kenna Vendetta, and A Magnitude 10 getting a little bit of offense by Alligator.
Yep, Alligator coming back, breaking up that block of block, allowing their jammer Thrill Show to get through, taking lead jam. She's going to work on making her scoring pass. The pack is actually rather separated right now, kind of dealing with, you have the jammer being dealt with towards the back.
Quad Squad doing a great job of holding berserkly the Vixen Jammer in the back, not allowing her to even get out of the pack. Meanwhile, Thrill Show taking advantage with another Mini Madison Grand Slam. 5 more points for the Quad Squad. Thrill Show through the pack again for 4 points for the Quad Squad and calls off that jam. That'll bring the Quad Squad to 202, the Vaudeville Vixens at 96. Lining up, not quite out back there on the jammer line. A little bit up in front, moving their way back now. Quad Squad at full strength, Vaudeville Vixens with 1 blocker in the penalty box. And on the Monkey Bar Gym jammer line, taking off for the Vixens, Black Velvet going up against Gouda Riddance for the Quad Squad.
Black Velvet getting through first, taking that lead jam. Now she's really picking up speed as she comes around the empty portion of the track, going to re-engage the pack.
And it looks like Black Velvet finding one of her Vaudeville Vixens, grabbing on and trying to make her way through the outside of the pack. She does so and calls that jam off, picking up 4 points, keeping the Quad Squad jammer to 0. And that's what the Vixens need to start doing here, getting up to 100 points there. The Quad Squad in the lead by 102 points. So if they keep up this, we can all take our wristbands to the Chocolate Shop ice cream stores to get a free single scoop tomorrow. If any team wins by 100 points or more, take your wristband to the Chocolate Shop, one of our great sponsors.
That is a pretty sweet deal, Dolly.
That's right, Rich.
Looking back down to that Monkey Bar Gym jammer line, we have Jocelyn Hell jamming for the Vaudeville Vixens. She's jamming against Sequin Destroyer for the Quad Squad.
And Sequin spreading out the wall of Vaudeville Vixens and making her way past. She gets past the last Vixen blocker and is lead jammer for the Quad Squad. Blocking the Vixen jammer as she gets by. Sequin Destroyer now trying to fight her way through. And Jocelyn Hell out of the pack for the Vixens. Meanwhile, Sequin Destroyer picking up 5 points, a Mini Madison Grand Slam. And she'll call that jam off before the Vaudeville Vixens jammer can score any additional points.
I'd like to read another shout out here. Got a shout out to the Aurora 88, getting WFTDA sanction from About Times on Facebook.
All right, let's hear it for the Aurora 88. I believe they're down in Aurora, Illinois, getting WFTDA sanctioned. And they'll be playing with other teams around the country also sanctioned by the WFTDA.
Getting back down to the action on the track, we have Hammer Abby jamming for the Quad Squad up against Shantastic McAwesome for the Vaudeville Vixens.
Shantastic McAwesome taken to the inside line and has to recycle around the back, knocked around by Brokeback Jack. And a wall of Quad Squad blockers there. Dark Horse Girl Friday and Super Youper trying to keep her back.
Yeah, Hammer Abby gets through, taking lead jam by getting by Vaudeville Vixen blocker Dalek Doll. However, Shantastic McAwesome also through and racing around that track, skating on by many Quad Squad blockers.
And it looks like Hammer Abby picks up 4 points. Shantastic McAwesome speeds through to pick up 2 points before the jam is called off. That'll bring Quad Squad to 211, Vaudeville Vixens at 102. We've got Darling Nikki on the jammer line for the Vaudeville Vixens. She's going up against Jammer Gouda Riddance of the Quad Squad. And they take off from the Monkey Bar Gym jammer line. On the whistle, Gouda Riddance taken to the inside line. Knocked around by A-Mag to 210 and Daisy Juke.
Yeah, Daisy Juke ended up picking up a penalty for that one, so off to the WRT penalty box she goes.
And that leaves A-Mag to 210 to block the Quad Squad jammer, Gouda Riddance, all by herself. Doing a great job, though. It looks like Darling Nikki gets out first. Vixens with the lead jammer status. Darling Nikki picking up lead jam. Now both jammers eligible to score. Darling Nikki hopping around the outside and picking up 4 points, calling off that jam. That's 4 points points for Darling Nikki, and that'll keep the quad squad to 0 that jam.
Yeah, Vaudeville Vixens still trailing by a little over 100 points with just under 13 minutes remaining in this half. Definitely looking like it's going to be a harder climb from here on out. Certainly not insurmountable.
That's right, the Vixens can definitely score 100 points and keep the quad squad to 0 in the next 12 minutes. Let's hear it for the Vixens out there. And the quad squad out there. Jamming for the Vixens in this jam, Berserkly going up against quad squad jammer Thrill Show. Both jammers fighting the blocker wall, set up in front by the Vaudeville Vixens and in back by the quad squad.
Thrill Show is going to break through first, taking lead jam for the quad squad. She'll start making her scoring pass. Looks like Berserk lead jammer for the Vaudeville Vixens. Not quite out yet. She's been recycled to the back. No, she has not been recycled to the back. She has done a star pass over to Feminine Hijinks, who was recycled to the back. My mistake.
The quad squad blockers paying attention to the star pass there and who the jammer was. The acting jammer Feminine Hijinks with the star pass now, trying to make her way past the quad squad blockers.
Definitely some good track awareness on the behalf of the quad squad there.
And Thrill Show calls off that jam. It looks like she picks up 3 points that pass through the jam, through the pack. And a timeout is called by the Vaudeville Vixens. So with that timeout, we'll have a few chance to thank some of our sponsors. And it looks like there will also be an official review. So we'll let you know what comes of that. We want to thank our sponsor, the Monkey Bar Gym. Monkey Bar Gym is where Derby girls work out to be strong enough for Derby. And at Monkey Bar Gym Madison, they understand both high-level athletic performance as well as physical limitations. They've trained professional athletes, weekend warriors, firefighters and grandmothers, carpenters and cancer survivors. Check out the Monkey Bar Gym at 1876 East Washington Avenue in Madison. Check out the Monkey Bar Gym booth that is right by the entrance where you walked in.
Now, while you're over there checking out the Monkey Bar Gym booth, check out the merch table. We've got merchandise there for all of the teams we have tonight. Plenty of stuff to check out, and if you buy any merch, then you get entered to win one of 4 free admissions to the Food Complex on May 22nd. You can also head over there and buy a shout-out for $1. In fact, I have a shout-out right here, Dolly.
Shout it out, Rich.
He's bulletproof. Fire away. Fire away. Mr. Carlson is titanium. And lo and behold, it seems when it rains Mr. Carlson, it pours Mr. Carlson. Mr. Carlson says, we are sad because Dante Hall crossed the Rainbow Bridge today. But we are happy to shout out to support other doggies.
And we have word from the officials regarding the official review. The pink team, the Vaudeville Vixens, challenged the jammer cut called. Upon review, the call stands, and the Vixens will lose their official review for the period. But back on the track, we've got jamming for the quad squad, Dark Horse. And it looks like the jammer for the Vaudeville Vixens, Feminine Hijinks, will start in the penalty box, and that leaves the quad squad and Dark Horse with the power jam.
That Vaudeville Vixens blocker is going to do what they can to keep Dark Horse towards the back of the pack. She ends up taking a back block penalty, so back block penalty on Dark Horse. So once she's down, that means that the Vixens jammer Feminine Hijinks is coming back out on the track to have her shot at a power jam.
Now Feminine Hijinks jamming for the Vaudeville Vixens in a power jam. Approaching the pack, she'll have to get past the wall of quad squad blockers. She's knocked to the inside and recycled to the back. A nice block by Brokeback Jack there of the quad squad. Feminine Hijinks passing, or taking off the helmet cover, the jammer helmet cover of the star. Meanwhile, Happy-Go-Lucky trying to make her way past the blockers on the quad squad. As she does so now, she places the Jammer helmet cover on her helmet.
Yep, she is followed closely by Dark Horse, who's been recently released from the penalty box. Happy-Go-Lucky going to break through that pack, picking up 4 points, but Dark Horse is right behind her, picking up 4 points of her own. Since both of these jammers have gone to the penalty box, we do not have a lead jam, so this jam will go the full 2 minutes without anybody having the opportunity to call it off.
And Happy-Go-Lucky makes her way through that pack of quad squad blockers, picking up 4 more points for the Vaudeville Vixens. Quad squad jammer at the end of that jam picks up 1 point, but it looks like she also picks up a penalty and is going to sit in the WORT penalty box for the start of this next jam. We've got about 9 minutes left in this bout, folks. Let's hear it for the quad squad and the Vaudeville Vixens. You can check out both teams after the bout at their autograph tables. If you pick up a Vixen mug, bring it to the autograph table and they'll give you a little bit of a prize to go inside. And now on the jammer line for the Vixens, Black Velvet with a power jam. And we have Dark Horse who will be jamming for the quad squad starting in the penalty box.
Looks like Black Velvet's getting recycled in the back of the pack by Alligator. It's going to keep happening. Now Guacamole has knocked Black Velvet out. Going to recycle her back even further. Quad squad doing a great job buying time until their jammer gets released from the penalty box.
And Black Velvet trying to make her way through that pack, looking a little dense there. The pack's all bunched up. Hard for that jammer to get by. And the quad squad jammer, Dark Horse, makes her way through that pack. She is determined to be lead jammer, so although she started in the penalty box, she did not get a penalty in that jam yet. She got through first and legally, so she is the lead jammer.
Looks like we have a star pass down on the track. Black Velvet has passed her star over to fellow Vixen, Kenna Vendetta. Kenna Vendetta got that star on the helmet moving around that track. She has a Vendetta.
She does, and that's to score some points, but it looks like the quad squad jammer, Dark Horse, calls off the jam after picking up 4 points for the quad squad, leaving the Vixens with 0 that jam. Still 7 minutes to go in the bout, and jamming for the Vaudeville Vixens is Jocelyn Hell on the Monkey Bar Gym jammer line. She'll be going up against Thrill Show for the quad squad. And Thrill Show's number is 80, but she has outnumbered herself with 82 points in this bout so far. And Thrill Show is a high-scoring jammer for the quad squad.
A lot of points there, Dolly. A lot of points.
And we can see how she does it. She fights her way there past a wall of pink blockers. Vixen's not able to hold Thrill Show back. She picks up lead jammer status. Jocelyn Hell trying to make her way past the quad squad wall, and the defense that they have been putting up against the Vixens tonight has been great. A little bit of a pile up there. And it looks like we had a skater signaling that she had hit her head, so we will take a little bit of a moment here to have our EMTs check things out and make sure everything is good to go. And this is a rough sport we play, folks, so there are bound to be injuries that occur. Not only bruises, but sometimes hits to the head. We want to make sure we take those seriously and have our EMTs check that out.
This is why we always have the EMTs on staff, just in case the unfortunate should happen. So we're just going to make sure our skater is all right here, and then we'll be getting back to the action shortly.
And it looked like the skater was aware of an injury, so motioned for those EMTs. We want to thank them as well as all our officials and skaters that are very cognizant and focus on any time an injury happens, that we want to make sure we take care of that. And it looks like Mia will be taken to the side of the track there. She was able to skate over there. So we'll continue the action. And our Bout professionals here will take care of any needs that she might have.
Yep, so we will now be getting back down to the action on the track, getting down to the Monkey Bar Gym Jammer line. We're going to have Shantastically Awesome jamming for the Vaudeville Vixens. She's jamming against Girl Friday on the Quad Squad. Girl Friday trying to find that outside lane, kind of clinging to one of her fellow skaters. Doesn't quite make it out, gets knocked outside, recycled to the back.
She gets recycled by darling Nikki to the back of the pack. Girl Friday, though, out of the pack now, and she is being signaled as your lead jammer. She's lead jammer for the Quad Squad. Shantastic McAwesome taking a hit, going down there, getting right back up and fighting her way past the Quad Squad blockers. They seem to be doing a great job of taking those jammers to the outside or inside lines and recycling them back around.
Some very aggressive defense happening on the part of the Quad Squad right now. Shantastic McAwesome still hasn't quite gotten through the pack. She is now through and will be able to start making her scoring pass. Over Girl Friday, through the pack, picking up 4 points. Seeing as she is behind Shantastic McAwesome, she's going to call that jam off.
And that leaves Girl Friday with a 9-point jam there for the Quad Squad. Vaudeville Vixens with no points picked up on that jam. Still 5 minutes left to go in this bout. Stick around. After this, we'll have the Reservoir Dolls versus the Unholy Rollers.
Yep, and in the intermission between this bout and the next, we will have a martial arts demo by Trowbridge Martial Arts Academy, so stick around for that. Getting back down to the action on the track, we have Dalek Doll jamming for the Vaudeville Vixens. She's getting up towards the front of the pack. She's jamming against Crystal Ice, who is recycled back, going to re-engage the pack now. Both jammers fighting their way through the pack. Lead jam not declared yet.
Dalek Doll taken to the inside line and down. It looks like Booty Collins getting a penalty called on her. She'll be heading to the penalty box there. Quad Squad blockers down to 2 on the track. Looks like maybe just 1 there with Alligator left to do all of the work for her jammer there and trying to help her get past. Alligator able to knock down Dalek Doll. Alligator just playing defense there. But Dalek Doll out of the pack now. 5 points picked up by the Vixens, and Dalek Doll with a Mini Madison Grand Slam. She calls off the jam before the Quad Squad can score any points.
Yep, that does bring our score to Vaudeville Vixens 120, Quad Squad 242. Vaudeville Vixens trailing by 122 points with just over 3 minutes remaining in this game.
And lining up on the Monkey Bar Gym jammer line, we have Black Velvet jamming for the Vaudeville Vixens. She'll be jamming against Thrill Show for the Quad Squad. Thrill Show fighting against the Vaudeville Vixens wall in back. Black Velvet, however, way past the quad squad blockers and out of the pack. She is the lead jammer for this jam.
Thrill Show just getting through the pack herself. She's going to start making her scoring pass. Black Velvet's going to get by that last quad squad jammer. Take a look back at the bench, seeing call that jam off. Picked up 4 points for the Vixens, 0 for the quad squad.
And the Vixens taking a couple quick jams here, scoring points, keeping the quad squad at 0. Will they have enough time to beat that lead that the quad squad has gotten over the Vixens? We'll see. We've got a little over 2 minutes.
Yeah, you know, like earlier in the game, we did have the quad squad pick up about 20 points in 2 minutes.
And we've got Secret Destroyer jamming for the quad squad, going up against Jocelyn Hell of the Vaudeville Vixens. Sequin Destroyer and Jocelyn Hell getting through the pack almost immediately at the same time, and the jam gets called.
Yeah, Sequin Destroyer got out first. She was the lead jammer. However, the Vixens jammer was out in front of her, so she didn't want... You can see it already. She was like, nope, not having any part of that. We're calling that one off. Let's try this again. So she's passing the torch or the star over to Dark Horse. Dark Horse jamming for the quad squad. She's jamming against Dalek Doll for the Vaudeville Vixens. Both jammers getting a bit of a running start to get up into that pack. Looks like Dalek Doll is going to make it through first, taking lead jam for the quad squad.
Dark Horse right behind her, and Dalek calls off that jam. Another 0 points scored in that jam.
Yep, same sort of situation as the last jam where Dalek Doll got out first, but then Dark Horse eked in front of her, and just with as little time left on the clock, probably best to just reset that jam, try it again. Lining up on the Monkey Bar Gym jammer line, we have Black Velvet jamming for the Vaudeville Vixens. She'll be jamming against Crystal Ice for the quad squad.
Crystal Ice making her way up to the front to go against, Vixen blockers, Happy Go Lucky and Whiskey Chaser. Meanwhile, Black Velvet out of the pack first, but she is called on a penalty, a backlocking penalty, so she will be headed to the WORT penalty box. That leaves Crystal Ice with a power jam for the quad squad. And you know what I like most about roller derby, Rich? It's that when one team is ahead by so many points and they have the lead, they don't just stop playing, but they keep on playing. So we will see this play go on until the last second on that penalty or on that period clock.
Yep, neither of these teams look done yet. If nothing else, they're having fun out there.
And Crystal Ice now is lead jammer for the quad squad. So she will have the opportunity to skate as much as she'd like until she calls off the jam, which will be what she does right now. And she's going to end the jam there, picking up 3 more points for the quad squad. And quad squad fans out there, let's hear it for your quad squad. Vaudeville Vixen fans, let's hear it for the Vixens. A hard-fought battle. The quad squad taking away the lead there with 245 points to the Vaudeville Vixens 124.
Yep, and with a point spread like that, that means that tomorrow, all of us can take our wristbands, our ticket stubs, proof that we were here tonight, down to any chocolate shop, ice cream shop, and get a free single scoop. So hold on to those wristbands, get on down there, and get you some free, delicious ice cream.
Check out both the quad squad and the Vaudeville Vixens at their team autograph tables right next to the merch table. Be sure to head on over to that merch table before the halftime during the next bout. And up next, after we all give our... And up next, we'll have some entertainment for our intermission.
Yep. Once the track clears out here, we will be welcoming a Trowbridge Martial Arts Academy to the stage to throw on a little martial arts demo.